Hello, welcome to the latest episode of This Is My Offer. My name is Don McDonnell. I'm a global partner segment lead here at AWS for energy and utilities. Today, I'm joined by Gary Miles, CEO of Gentrack from London. Gary, welcome to the show.
Don, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it, Gary. We appreciate our partnership with Gentrack, and thanks for joining us today.
Likewise. Cheers.
Gentrack is a trusted partner of AWS. You guys have worked with us for years. You've got customers around the world and have been at it for 37 years. So you've earned a lot of trust with the utility markets that we serve together. Share a little bit more with the audience about your mission in service to energy and water customers.
Yeah, so Don, we have been 37 years is a long time for a tech company to be in business. A lot of amazing tech companies have come and gone in that time.
Mhm.
We haven't been on AWS the whole time, obviously, but we definitely, as we've modernized over the last half a decade, and so moved our customer book into the cloud. We did all that on AWS. And our mission right now, when I joined the company 4 years ago, we were in just a handful of countries. Now we're in 10 countries, and our objective is to lead the energy transition for the IT replatforming of utilities, whether it's energy or water, to lead that globally. We think there'll be about 4 or 5 hyperscale technology platforms that can allow utilities to modernize, adopt AI, embrace hyper volatile energy markets and more efficient water markets. So these companies, these 4 or 5 companies that can build these technologies should be able to amortize those across hundreds of utilities around the world. And it's our objective to be one of those leaders worldwide. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I know we've worked together at Fiji Water, Gary. I just wanted to, before I ask my next question, volunteer for a field visit.
Yeah, we're in some, but Fiji's a good place. New Zealand, where we're headquarters, is a fantastic place. You can also come there. We've got some exotic locations like Papua New Guinea, also Singapore.
Nice.
So come visit us. And I think our joint story is always something our customers are looking to have us get going together. So yeah, that would be fun.
Absolutely. Well, notwithstanding just Fiji, let's dive a little deeper on the solution, Gary.
Okay.
And let's talk a little bit more about the value proposition, some of the use cases that you provide with the G2 solution. Tell me a little bit about how you also leverage AWS in delivery for customers.
So as we talked about in the beginning, we've been around a long time. Our products, you should think about it from the time you get a meter read. And, it used to be a man or woman in a van getting a meter read like every 6 months and a pretty static bill. So the industry didn't have a lot of velocity on the IT side. Now, like in Australia, we get meter reads from all the meters. If we have 22 major utilities down there that run on our stack, we get meter reads every 5 seconds. And so consumers can see exactly what's happening with their consumption, know when there's volatility and pricing. We do all the billing, we do all the charging. If you have an issue with your battery or solar or EV or your charging, and you call the call center, that comes into our systems. So you can think of us as the control room for running an energy business and automating as much as possible to do that. That's the job that we offer. And as you look to modernize towards flex-based pricing and greener energy sources and all those things, customers need to understand energy and the value of water and things like that, and per capita consumption targets for water. So our system helps customers or retailers move on this journey into a much more efficient, customer-friendly, and better ways of working business. So top line and bottom line for big energy retailers and water retailers. Does that make sense?
It does. It makes a lot of sense.
And on the AWS side, I mean, we had some choices. Obviously, there's cloud options out there. When I joined the business, and we'd already decided to move forward with AWS, and I was really pleased with that that decision because AWS is the global leader. Also, when I came in, we had our own customer information system that we built over the years, and we kind of shot that, and we adopted Salesforce for that layer. We have a lot of other IP, billing, charging, meter reading, etc. But for the CRM layer, we adopted Salesforce. So, two global leaders to go attack a global problem by embracing AWS and Salesforce has proved to be a really powerful kind of trifecta between Gentrack, AWS, and Salesforce. And we find you guys, just a winning company that helps us at all turns. So we're pretty pleased about it. Obviously, you have all the CI/CD and the tooling and attractive pricing and the right type of incentives to help our customers make this move. And that's the kind of partnership that's at the heart of, I think, your leadership and our ability to work well together. So we
Well, we
appreciate it.
well, we appreciate it too, Gary. We appreciate the partnership. We have this notion of customer obsession and also working backwards. And as you talked about some of the things you do for customers, I couldn't help but think about what I call the Energy Trilemma, which is really making energy and water affordable, reliable, and resilient. Right, that's the second pillar, and then the third pillar is clean. Right, and
Yeah.
this is a very challenging thing for regulators and countries to balance during the energy transition. And of course, water and energy are inextricably linked through the energy nexus. Production of water requires electricity, and vice versa. So let's talk a little bit more about the solutions. For
But Don, if I could say something that's interesting about your position of that on the trilemmas
Mhm.
is two of them are a little bit counter opposed because the
Mhm.
clean energy is volatile.
Mhm.
And so if you have a coal plant that's running 24/7, 365, steady state, the grid steady. But
Mhm.
the grid has to be balanced. So if it's has too little power, it falls over, has too much power, it falls over. And the problem is when you put a bunch of wind or solar assets into it that are very, you can't turn on and off a coal plant in 5 seconds.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you get price volatility, which is affordability element, which spikes around with green. There's a trade-off. Obviously, green energy is very efficient, and we'd like to have more of it, but it's not. So then you need to supplement that with time of use charging, so you balance the load
Mhm.
better, and batteries, and all this kind of. So the energy network is really the biggest IT replatforming and rebuilding of the grid almost in the world. I mean, it's on a similar scale to hyperscale computing that you guys are driving. So it's a really interesting trilemma, which
Mhm.
takes smart minds and smart software and good high performance systems. So
So Gary, tell me a little bit about your thoughts on energy transition as it affects individuals, right? We've got utility customers here for Gentrack, but you're really serving the end customer. Tell me what your thoughts are on how technology is going to transform that transition for end customers.
well, Don, we talked about the volatility of the grid. So when there's less power, prices spike. So
Hmm.
in the future, most of us, a lot of us, will have a battery in our driveway. And that battery you'll be able to plug in and fill it when the energy's, abundant in the grid, so cheap, meaning the sun's shining or the wind's blowing. Or if there's a lull in that and energy starts to spike, you can actually power your house from a battery on the side of your house or from your car and start to balance the grid. This allows you to use greener energy. It allows you to reduce your bills. So it's a win-win kind of for everybody. And you can, if you're a business owner and you think about your, energy bills have been like board level topics. They're super expensive in certain times with wars and things that are happening nowadays. So anyway, you'll start to have battery assets next to production plants and things like that allow businesses to do the same thing on a larger scale. So this is going to impact all of us, and it does. It impacts the planet, etc. So I think we all have a role to play, and to help make the world a greener, more sustainable place. It's pretty exciting.
When it comes to these moments of truth with customers, the notion that customers really they really care about energy when they have a bill problem, right? And we can all empathize with this, like, wait, why do I have this huge energy bill? Or more specifically during, events, resilience events. So these moments of truth, I think, are great opportunities for us as a utility industry in this transition to kind of improve um, our service working backwards to customers in that moment. And so we see it a lot of our partners and customers leveraging AI. Um, Tell me a little bit more about your thoughts on AI and the platform, and sort of the opportunities you see today and in the future for customers.
Look, I mean, we touched on it, Don, earlier about it used to be a static, a dumb meter with you didn't have much data. And now every 5 seconds, you're getting huge volumes from across, I don't know, the whole country. For example, some of our customers support all the meters in the country. So it's huge volumes. So you can take that data set and, you know, these retailers kind of make or break their financials on trading. And what
Hmm.
used to be done with Excel models, now you do hyperscale machine learning to form. And in the future, every consumption curve on the grid will have its own. Uh, every device on the grid will have its own consumption curve, and then you
Hmm.
amalgamate those into forward forecasting for trading. So there's one area where hyperscale kind of AI machine learning comes into play. Obviously, all the data insights about running the business, and then on the on the more generative AI and customer interaction side, for sure to automate and automate and automate. We use Salesforce, Agentforce, other types of technologies to try to be much more proactive with consumers about their energy or water awareness, when to be in touch with them, how to be, how to automate this and take, cost out of the business. We see that as a major investment area today for retailers and a reason to transform.
Hmm.
The old systems can't even support AI, to be blunt. I mean, they don't have the APIs, access, the data loads to support it. So that's one of the reasons it's transforming. So it's a pretty important space for all of our customers and for the future of for the energy and water experience. Yeah.
Yeah, no question about it. So as we wrap up here, tell me a little bit about how folks can get a hold of you, Gary. What's the best way? We know that you're a marketplace, AWS marketplace,
Yeah.
but tell us a little bit about the best way for an energy or water company to engage Gentrack today.
Look, I think of it, a lot of the reason to transform today is to have a better customer relationship. So reaching out to us or Salesforce. I mean, we usually prime or we work with big systems integration partners. You can find us at gentrack.com. We're in the business of helping retailers make a major move to transform off very old legacy systems. It's not a simple move, by the way. These are fundamental business transformation programs. So it comes with new ways of working and efficiencies and doing things differently. So it's not something we sell like over the internet
Mhm.
or a downloadable version of software that you plug and play. But a lot of it's out of the box. So but any type of journey like this is a people centric driven journey that's enforced by technology. And so reach out to us and let's get a dialogue in place about where we can get started together and start to introduce some exciting new things: EVs, home batteries, solar, um, all the things that the energy companies are really trying to roll out.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about prosumers, and
Yeah.
the notion that in the future, a lot of the work on the edge will be done autonomously for customers, right? Set and forget it. That the future of convenient customer energy, I think, rests in the cloud. So today we've been with Gary Miles, CEO of Gentrack. Really appreciate the time today, Gary, and appreciate the partnership. Thank you.
Don, thank you very much. Thanks to AWS. Cheers.